If you're a rapper or a fan of Kendrick Lamar's music, then I think you're really going to enjoy this video. I'm about to share with you some super advanced rhyming techniques that Kendrick's using in the first verse of his song, The Heart Part 5. Let's get straight to it. Now, in this verse, Kendrick's top priority is his message. He doesn't allow himself to get boxed in by committing to long rhyme scheme patterns. For example, Kendrick doesn't typically keep his rhyme schemes going for more than 2 bars. This prevents his rhyme schemes from having too much influence on the direction of his message, because the longer we remain in a rhyme scheme, the fewer words we have to choose from that connect with what we're really trying to express in our lyrics. For example, on bars 5 and 6, his rhyme scheme is city, busy, and risky. And then on bars 7 and 8, he switches to a new multi-syllable internal rhyme scheme with sensitized, vandalized, and camouflaged. And at the end of bar 8, analyze is used to transition into yet another new rhyme scheme that begins on bar 9. Also on bars 5 and 6, his end rhyme scheme is pain and rain.
Residue burn, misdata in the city, miscommunication to keep homo detector busy. No protection is risky, desensitized, I vandalize pain, covered up and camouflage, get used to hearing arsenal rain.
And Kendrick also does the same thing on bars 9 and 10, as he's technically juggling 3 rhyme schemes at once, with yo and the, which he just repeats, and then charge and yard. And on bars 11 and 12, he switches his rhyme scheme yet again to lockdown and shutdown on the second beat, and called involved on the 4th beat.
Analyze, risk your life, take the charge. Homies don't f your baby mama once you hit the yard. That's culture. 23-hour lockdown. Then somebody called, said your little nephew was shot down. The culture's involved.
Also, Kendrick takes the liberty of shifting the placement of some of his words within his rhyme schemes so that their timing is not in sync. He likely does this for the same reason as I previously mentioned about letting what he's wanting to say take precedence over the rhyme schemes. And this can initially create tension and be off-putting to the listener because you're expecting for him to land on the same beat as his previous rhyme did, but instead he lands somewhere else. I feel like this tension ties in perfectly with the message and emotion of his lyrics because he's talking about a lot of uncomfortable topics, and this makes his lyrics feel more raw, gritty, and less polished. As listeners, we've been conditioned to expect rhyme schemes to land close to the same spot from one bar to another, and Kendrick does this enough to please the listener and make the placement of his rhymes somewhat predictable, while also breaking the structure of his rhyme schemes to create tension and keep you guessing. Let's take a listen to where this occurs on bars 13 through 16, and then I'll explain how he executed it.
The coach is involved. I done seen to into 17, hit the halfway house, get out and get his brains blown out, looking to buy some weed, car washes played out, new GoFundMe accounts to proceed, a brand new victim of shatter those dreams, the culture.
Now on bars 13 through 16, notice how Kendrick rhymes scene and teen on beats 1 and 2 of bar 13, and then he doesn't rhyme with these words again until the 4th beat of bar 14 with weed. And this is where you feel the tension, because weed is not landing on the same beat as either of the previous rhymes. Also, another cause of this tension is weed doesn't rhyme with house from bar 13, and more on that in just a second. And he doesn't rhyme at all with scene or teen on bar 15. This is actually a very advanced rhyming technique that's taking place. And here's the main takeaway. If you have a 4-bar rhyme scheme pattern going, like the one we have here, you can break the rhyme scheme on the 3rd bar of a 4-bar pattern and fill it in with the internal rhyme, and then complete your initial rhyme scheme on the 4th bar. This is how you can make an odd-numbered rhyme scheme feel even. This is because when you break the rhyme scheme on the 3rd bar, you trick the listener into thinking you've begun a new rhyme scheme because you've already completed a 2-bar rhyme scheme at this point. But then you reveal that you haven't switched rhyme schemes by finishing your rhyme scheme on the 4th bar. This is a form of misdirection, and it's almost like a lyrical magic trick that rappers sometimes play on their listeners. Now on bar 16, he resumes his rhyme scheme with seed on beat 1 and dreams on beat 4. The placement of seed lines up with seen from bar 13, beat 1, and dreams lines up with weed on beat 4 of bar 14, which relieves the tension and gives you a nice sense of resolution and completion to end the verse.
Down, the coach is involved. I done seen Chicken do 17, hit the halfway house, get out and get his brains blown out, looking to buy some weed, car washes played out, new GoFundMe accounts to proceed, a brand new victim of shatter those dreams, the culture.
Now let's jump back to another rhyme scheme Kendrick is juggling here, which begins with the word house on beat 4 of bar 13. He continues to rhyme with this word on bars 14 and 15 with the repetition of 3 outs. And notice how none of these words land on the same beat as house until the syllable counts on the 4th beat of bar 15. This is where the rhyme scheme starts resolving the tension that Kendrick created, followed by seed and dreams, which brings this chaotic rhyme scheme to a wonderfully executed ending.
The coach is involved. I done seen Chicken do 17, hit the halfway house, get out and get his brains blown out, looking to buy some weed, car washes played out, new GoFundMe accounts to proceed, a brand new victim of shatter those dreams, the culture.
Another thing that I found interesting about Kendrick's rhymes is that he doesn't rhyme on the 4th beat too often. The 4th beat is one of the most common places that rappers place their rhymes. However, Kendrick places a lot of his rhyme schemes around the 2nd beat. For example, on bars 1 through 4, he has a 4-bar rhyme scheme going beginning with minor, which bounces in between the 2nd and the 3rd beat. Also on bars 3 and 4, he drifts this rhyme a bit by changing the 2nd syllable of this rhyme scheme from ner sounds to n sounds.
I come from a generation of pain, will murder his minor, rebellious and more jealous, a chip you for designer, belt buckles to cloud overzealous and prone to violence, make their own turn, be your will of the will alignment, residue burn.
And I'm curious to know, is there a specific song that you would like to see me break down next? Let me know in the comment section below. My name is Cole Mize with ColeMizeStudios.com, where I strive to make you a better rapper now. And if you're trying to perfect your rap skills, make sure that you get yourself a free copy of my ebook, The #1 Fundamental to Rapping, via the link in the video's description below. And you'll also get a free copy of Kendrick's bar sheets that I used in today's video and more free goodies. And subscribe to this channel for more straight to the point, no BS, how to rap video tutorials just like this one. And always remember, when it comes to rapping, there's no rules, there's only techniques. Peace.
Hey man, you see that subscribe button right there? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Oh, and don't forget the bell icon. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Hey, I know you see that like button, right? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. And look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, today I'm gonna kill it, kill it.